Steam has totally changed how games are being purchased and consumed. Just a few short years ago, people stood in line at the local GameStop to buy the games they wanted. Now, our game libraries are becoming more and more like my wife's book collection. She has more books than she could ever get to, and she still adds new books to her read later pile every couple of weeks. I usually make fun of her for this, but the other day I took a look at my Steam gallery and realized I'm a hypocrite. I have quite a few games that I bought when they were on sale and haven't got to playing them yet. One of those games is Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the Blind Forest won several awards when it came out for its art direction and music, but I somehow just let it slide by. But now it's time to catch up and see what all the buzz was about. Ori is a 2D platformer akin to games like Metroid or Castlevania. It's a platformer, yes, but calling Ori a platformer is such an understatement. It's got beautiful visuals, a touching story, and atmospheric music. The game also mixes in combat, RPG leveling systems, and upgrades that change the way you experience the world. Games like these are often called Metroidvanias, just because they take so much from classic games like Metroid and Castlevania. Before I talk too much about the gameplay, however, I feel it's very important to mention that Ori and the Blind Forest is a very cinematic game. It plays with a lot of cool ideas as far as bridging some gaps between movies and games. The first thing that caught me off guard was the opening cinematic. I sat back in my chair passively, watching the setup for the rest of the story, when all of a sudden the cinematic stopped, and I was in control of this big old panda-like creature, and a little while later the game gave me control over the protagonist, Ori. The prologue of this game had me playing quite a bit of it. Of course the prologue just had me move from point A to point B, but I thought it was great. I interacted a bit with the story and also got to get used to how the characters feel to control. They also keep tutorial-like instructions to a minimum. When you get a new ability, they give you a little hint on how it works, and then immediately give you a situation where you need to use it to get out of the room you found the ability in. A combination of being able to play the opening cinematic and keeping tutorials to a minimum helped to make Ori a good cinematic experience. While immersion is done so well in many other parts of the game, moments where immersion is broken stand out like a sore thumb. There were a couple times during the game that the designers did not introduce a mechanic at all, and expected you to figure it out because they wanted to be so hands-off with tutorials. The mushroom things in the foggy forest are a good example. There are these mushrooms that come up and you can climb and jump on them, but when they were first introduced I died a couple times because it wasn't clear how they worked. I did figure out after dying a couple times that after you jump off of a solid surface they disappear or reappear, but the time trying to figure that out totally broke my immersion with the game. Another time this went wrong was close to the end of the game in the volcano. I finished clearing the last room and a cinematic played where the lava lowered in the main room, allowing access to the bottom floor. When I left that main room, however, the lava hadn't lowered. I thought the game was bugged. I even googled Mount Horu, lava didn't lower bug, and found that a whole bunch of people had the same issue. After doing even more digging, I found that the cinematic plays once when you complete all the rooms on the right side of the volcano, and once again after completing the left side. There is a secret room on the left side of the volcano hidden inside another room. Sure enough, the cutscene of the lava lowering played again, and this time, when I got out to the main room, it actually had lowered. Despite these frustrations I had, there were a lot of really high points for me playing Ori and the Blind Forest. The main story is about reawaking a forest that has fallen into ruin by going to 3 dungeons and awaking them. Sounds really familiar, doesn't it? After bringing each part of the forest back to life, you take part in an escape sequence that tests your skill more than anything else you've experienced up to that point. I think the music for these sections are my favorite. I mean, just listen. Ori has a lot more going for it than just the music and presentation, however. The gameplay feels really good. The way Ori interacts with the world is also exciting. You can wall jump, climb, hover, and my favorite move is this awesome slow-mo block thing called a bash. Good design is solving several problems with one solution. Bash provides strong attacks when you deflect projectiles at your enemy, provides speed and height to reach new places. You can also use bash to deflect explosives at weak places in the world to open up new secrets. And you can use it to simply dodge attacks. The bash attack provides a ton of depth without adding complexity to the game. This is good game design. There was one move I was frustrated with, however, the stupid hover move. It actually works great, except for in one section of the game where you're navigating a maze of spikes. You have to tap shift with your pinky and try to move left and right without running into spikes above or below you. And pinkies are not meant to do that. The reason QAZ are at the edge of the keyboard is because they are not commonly pressed. My pinky kept cramping up at these sections, but that's just the start of it, because sticky keys kept going off and interrupting my experience. I eventually just turned off sticky keys completely, But either way, making players tap shift is not a good design choice. I really enjoyed the time I spent with Ori. Its touching story and endearing art style are enough to make this game a 9 out of 10 in my book. I'd keep an eye on Steam for the next time this goes on sale. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to see more, don't forget to like the video. I'm always open for suggestions on how to improve my content or what games to play in the future, so go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thanks again, I'll see you next time.